Hi everyone, Meteorologist Ethan Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our finally Friday edition of our 19 at Noon weekday weather show. We do it every single day at noon here on Facebook, on Fox19.com, the Fox 19 News and First Alert Weather app, and of course on the 24/7 Weather Streaming channel and Facebook with the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. So today is nice. And I might not have as many viewers today compared to other days simply because of the fact that you might be outside enjoying some of the sunshine. Maybe you're trying to, do any activity you need to do outside before things get brutally cold. And we've been talking about this the last couple of days, of this brutally cold air mass that's going to be working its way into the region as we head into Sunday and Monday. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. First alert weather days for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. Wednesday, just the morning hours. Wednesday afternoon, conditions will begin to improve. Still cold, but not as dangerous as what we're about to experience here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the morning lows, near or below zero. I'll just give you the forecast. Monday morning, the low is 1 below. Tuesday morning, 0. Wednesday morning, 2 below. That's already really cold. But we are also looking at winds not being calm, but a slight breeze. We're not looking at gusty winds. The problem here is that when it's this cold, the slightest breeze makes a major difference with the wind chill or feels like temperature. So let's say, for example, you got a temperature of 1 below, which is the forecast low for Monday morning. 1 below. Let's say you have an 8-mile-per-hour wind gust. Just 8. Not a lot of wind, right? 8-mile-per-hour wind. Temperature of 1 below gives you a wind chill of 15 below. There's actually a calculation that goes into that heat dispersion from those kind of winds when it's really, really cold. In fact, we've had some comments of folks who may be misinformed or maybe don't know about wind chills. We talk about it all the time. We mention feels like temperatures. Feels like temperatures is just an easier way to distinguish both wind chill and heat. What's the word? Wow, I'm having a brain fart right now. Been up since 1 this morning. Heat index. Whew, geesh. Working 10-hour days kind of gets it to you every once in a while. Okay, so we call it feels like temperature for both heat index and wind chill, but if you break them apart, they're two different things. We'll focus on wind chill, though. So what is wind chill? Put this up in full screen for you. Well, your heat radiates heat, or your bodies radiate heat through convection. That's how heat works. With little to no wind, a layer kind of hangs around you. For example, maybe you're watching a football game and it's really, really cold outside. Let's say you watched your favorite quarterback or running back just march down the field, get that touchdown, they come off the field. They have the cameras on them on the sidelines. You might notice a lot of steam coming off of behind their pads or around their shoulders. That is some of that heat becoming steam because of saturation. But anyway, from sweat. But that is kind of a example of visibly seeing that heat radiating off of somebody. Now, with the winds, so let's say for this example, there's no wind, it's 20 degrees, that heat is around you. It's kind of, just kind of spatially close to you. When you add wind, put this up full screen for you, when you have that wind, that heat gets dispersed. It breaks apart, that insulating warm air has been moved, and then that speeds up the heat loss. So think about it. Let's say you've got that nice layer of heat surrounding your body. You get a little bit of a wind, it shifts over. Let's say the wind's coming in from my left to my right. That heat gets dispersed, and then you're left with no heat, and your immediate skin or top layer of you are going to be really, really cold. So that speeds up the heat loss and makes you feel colder. There's actually a calculation that goes into this. So let's say you have a 20-mile-per-hour wind, a temperature of 20 degrees, feels like temperatures are at 4 degrees. So that's why we've been preaching this so much, because you might see, I mean, already 0 degrees is pretty darn cold, especially for Cincinnati. However, when you have this little bit of a wind, although it's not 20-mile-per-hour winds, it does make that heat loss more significant. And that's why we're really pressing this. I'm really pressing this because you got to consider Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. A lot of folks are going to be outside, whether it be different activities. There's the MLK Day March. There's the program following that over at the Music Hall. Other communities across the tri-state will probably have some kind of freedom marches, some kind of events for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those either get postponed or moved at least indoors where it's warm. Also consider Tuesday and Wednesday, schools will be in session. You gotta think of those kids who parents have to go to work early. I know because my parents were this way. They had to go to work working road construction. They had to leave the house at 4 a.m. So my sister and I had to either go to my grandma's and we would be there, or within an hour we were able to get ready and our neighbor would make sure that we were safely going to school. But you have to go by the bus stop, and when it's this cold, minutes matter when you have wind chills at 15 below. You can get hypothermia in a short period of time. I don't know if I have the exact numbers on my head at the moment, but this is kind of the range of where things can become dangerous. So you got to consider that. You got to consider the population that's outside who don't have shelters. And it's heartbreaking. So that's why we're telling you now, we're giving that first alert now. That way, coming up to Monday, or at least Sunday night, there are plans in place for those who need that shelter, need that warmth, and can prepare to stay warm if they have to be outside. If you have to work outside, I mentioned my parents working construction. Some construction workers will still have to be outside. Now, I could imagine folks who work with concrete probably can't do very well with temperatures that cold, because concrete, you need to have right temperature, right conditions for the concrete to work really well, although they probably have some material now where it can actually harden a lot faster. I used to work in construction too, working on concrete. But anyway, my takeaway with this is that even if you have to be outside, really important to take those precautions. You don't have to go out and show off everybody. You don't have to wear a jacket. They could be in your t-shirt. No. This is not the kind of conditions to do that with. You got to take it seriously when it's this cold. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. We talked about the wind chill. We talked about the precautions, the first alert weather days. Let's get into today, because today we are looking at pretty nice conditions here in the tri-state. In fact, we are looking at a lot of sunshine and temperatures rising up to the low 40s. Now, that being said, later today, you can already see some of these upper level clouds beginning to develop here over towards Cape Girardeau, towards Memphis, towards Jonesboro, Arkansas. That is moving in our direction. We're going to see clouds increasing as early as 3, 4 o'clock to our southwestern counties. By the way, this morning, if you didn't see, the sunrise is beautiful. This evening, with the high, thin clouds moving in, we'll have a beautiful sunset too. So, if you're a good photographer or just want to take a photo of the sunrise or the sunset this evening, send it to us at fox19.com/pics. You're going to have some nice colors, I'm telling you. So the key to that is looking at upper level clouds with the sun setting or sun rising. You end up getting some nice colors. Anyway, moving along here, what's more important is we got rain moving in already over towards Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. This will make its way here as we go into tonight as early as 10 o'clock. Become widespread after midnight and continue going into our Saturday morning. My days are already all messed up. Almost at Sunday. Whew. Okay, right now, temperatures already at 37 degrees this hour here in Cincinnati. Way down in Nashville, 53 degrees. We're not going to get quite that warm. We're on the other side of the boundary of the what's the right word here? Down here is a lot more of a warmer air mass. We're in a mild air mass right now. We're going to see highs in the 40s today, but then a much colder air mass will work its way in as we go into Saturday night and Sunday. More of what we've been kind of seeing lately. But let's take a look at current temperatures here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Okay, I said 50s are going to be happening here. Something's wrong with the Butler County Airport. This has been happening the last couple of days, so that doesn't exist. We're not seeing 54. Though if you're seeing a temperature gauge and you're reading at 54 degrees in Hamilton, prove me wrong. Everyone else is in the 30s. It seems very anomalous to see something like that. 37 in Batesville, Harrison, CVG, Falmouth, 35 at the Wilmington Air Park there in Clinton County. And the winds out there right now are a little breezy, 5 to 15 miles per hour. We're not looking at any strong gusts, but there are gusts out there around 23 miles per hour. You factor that in, wind chills are in the upper 20s and low 30s. Not quite like yesterday, but it does feel still a little chilly, although, as I mentioned, today is the warmest day of not only the 7-day forecast, but the foreseeable future. Yeah, we're talking about conditions getting, again, really cold on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So here is today's high, going all the way up to 42 degrees. And this afternoon, again, we're going to be looking at those conditions staying dry. Clouds do increase, and we're becoming mostly cloudy later in the day. Now, it's Friday. Some folks are traveling for the weekend. So for the travel forecast, you can see dry conditions pretty much throughout the region. Up to 60 down in Nashville. That sounds nice, right? 49 in Lexington, 45 in Indianapolis, 40 in Columbus, upper 30s in Cleveland and in Pittsburgh. Chicago, 45, and, of course, pretty windy up that direction. But we'll take a look at our forecast model here and show you that timeline of the rain and when we can see the changeover from rain to snow coming up here in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at those Facebook comments and questions on both the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page. If you're watching yesterday, I forgot my phone. I didn't today. Let's go ahead and begin on the Fox 19 Facebook page. Sarah says, Ethan, hope you're having a good day today. So far, so good. I'm a little slap happy. I've been awake since 1 a.m. This is a wacky schedule. So tomorrow I'm coming in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon as opposed to 3 a.m. And I tend to get a little loopy sometimes. And I've already made mistakes saying something wrong over the last couple of minutes here. So, yeah, doing okay so far. Jessica, I'm ready for warmer weather. Hey, a lot of folks are, and unfortunately, today is the best you're going to get for the next 2 weeks. Ronald asking, when are we going to see warmer weather? Well, there is signs of seeing temperatures above normal in February, so we got that, and it doesn't look like the beginning of February at least. We're looking at temperatures staying at or below normal through the end of this month to the beginning of February. But at this point, I can't give you an exact week or day. It just looks like the overall trend is February does get a little bit milder here in the region. So we've got that. Ronald says, yeah, get the bike out and ride. Yeah, I would say today would be the day to do that of all the days coming up. I know it's cold today, but if you're itching to go on a bike ride, today is better than any of the other 7 days coming up here in the tri-state. Jeff says, I don't mind the snow. I love snow, but sub-zero temps can go away now. Well, you know what? If you want the snow, you got to travel south. And I'll show you that in the model data here coming up in a second. Sarah says, Ethan, you need some sleep. Yeah, putting on a nap here this afternoon. That is for sure. Okay, let's look at my Facebook page real quick. No comments there. Okay, we'll move along. And we'll first start with the forecast model behind me for tonight. And as you can see here, clouds are going to begin to increase after 3 o'clock. It's not going to be too bad. It's going to be upper level clouds. So sunshine will still filter through. That's why I'm saying this evening, if you like taking sunset or sunrise photography, looking at some good colors here this evening. So that's 3 o'clock. We go forward in time, mostly cloudy conditions going into tonight after sunset. And we're looking at rain beginning to move in beginning around 10 o'clock tonight. Meteorologist Catherine Bodak will be tracking that. And it starts off light. But overnight tonight, we could see pockets of moderate rain. I can't rule that out. This model, it's actually gone down a little bit with the intensity, which I'm agreeing with this. But we will be looking at mainly light rain overnight tonight. But again, pockets of moderate rain cannot be ruled out. But note the temperatures. They haven't changed much since this is a model, so these numbers are a little bit different than what I have in the forecast. But we're looking at steady temperatures, upper 30s and low 40s. It's going to be a cold rain that comes down. Now we go into Saturday morning, and again, temperatures don't change very much. This is 6, 7 a.m., and meteorologist Jeff Creighton will be tracking this, and this is when we're going to begin to see little bit of changes moving in. So do note, off to the top left of the screen, we got some pink, a little bit of blue indicating maybe a little bit of a rain, snow, wintry mix. We won't see that really until the midday and early afternoon, because this is moving in that direction, and we're going to eventually see this kind of tilt and swing over us. And as that does that, we will begin to see that transition, and temperatures will actually begin to fall Saturday, midday, and afternoon. So let me explain. Let me show you on this model. This model has been doing it a lot better. So once this loads, you'll begin to see that. Okay, so what we've got here is there's the rain coming in tonight, going into Saturday morning, and this model is doing a fairly decent job. It's kind of aligning with what I just showed you. You see here at the top left of the screen, or I should say, what was the top of the screen on the last slide? Now it's over towards the middle of the screen. To our northwestern counties and over towards Muncie, that rain-snow mix taking place there. But that is going that way. We're going to see what's happening over here, slide in, Saturday midday and afternoon. This model may not show it the best. There we go. Yeah, it does actually do a pretty decent job. This is actually an updated model run compared to what I showed earlier this morning. But this is around 2 o'clock Saturday. Do note, we're seeing that transition of rain over to a rain-snow mix. Now, for those of you asking, are we looking at a lot of snow? No. This looks like, if anything, might be a quick covering of grassy surfaces, elevated surfaces. But when it comes to roadways, it just looks wet. Consider this. Consider the fact that today we've got sunshine, we've got 40s. I know it's really, really cold out there. The yards are most certainly below freezing with the ground temperature. Roadways, however, are dry. At least most of the roadways. Side streets, back roads might have some icy spots with it. And if they're shaded, this doesn't really apply to you. But consider most roadways are dried out. You got the sun over them. Temperatures above freezing officially now, and will stay above freezing at least until Saturday evening. So you got about 24 hours roughly, or a little bit more, give or take, of temperatures above freezing with some sunshine today. It's going to help keep those road temperatures get a little bit above freezing. So you have that, plus you have rain hitting it. And mind you, this rain is going to be, obviously, water above freezing. And so I think that's going to help bump the temperature up a little bit more on the surface. And so I think what's going to happen when those snow showers do arrive Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, it's just going to melt. Now, that being said, let me go ahead and play this out just a little bit more. We head into Saturday evening. This is 8 o'clock. Do note that we have a lot of blue back here, and this is actually pretty dry air mass coming in. This is the colder air. So temperatures will eventually fall below freezing Saturday evening. What I just told you is when the snow initially comes in. The snow does not look to be a long-lasting big event, nor does it look heavy. It just looks like a quick transition from rain, maybe a little bit of sleet mixed in, and snow, and then it quickly kicks out of here as that dry, cold air mass moves in. So wet conditions, then a big drop in temperatures. I do believe Saturday evening we could run into icy spots. So road crews, it's going to be a timing game. So we need to give them some grace with this particular forecast. You got wet roads. You can't put salt treatment on that because what's going to happen? The salt just melts and is pretty much ineffective at that point, or at least not as effective. They have to wait until the timing gets just right. They have to watch the temperature gauge. Once it goes down below a certain temperature, then they can apply it to those roadways, and then that only then will it be a bit more effective. But we could be looking at icy roads Saturday night into Sunday morning. So keep that in mind if you're traveling Saturday night or Sunday morning, that there will be some icy spots. Can't reiterate that enough. But do note that the snow shower activity does not look to be a problem here. We could be looking at some minor accumulations on Sunday. We'll show you that here real quick. So here it is. We go forward in time, and notice this. We got some snow showing up to our eastern counties, and we also have some of this here showing up to our northern counties. And again, this is Sunday. So we're not looking at a lot of snow, but it's going to be there. In fact, let me just back this up a little bit. It had actually a better view. There we go. So Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, some scattered light snow showers. Note the colors. Obviously, you can't see. It's probably hard to see, at least from here. Oh, no, you can see it from here. Darker shades of blue up here towards New York. They're looking at some snow on Sunday. Us, we got this little light blue, light shade of blue, and it's really spanned out. That means it's just light snow shower activity. I'm not suspecting anything heavy. I'm not suspecting anything that's going to be really impactful. Slick road conditions are probably going to be something that's going to already be in play before the snow even gets here because, as I mentioned, wet roads, temperatures dropping dramatically to the point where they're well below freezing, could create icy spots. And that's Sunday. Sunday night, snow moves out, cold, dry air moves in. We will pause this real quick. I do want to show you the snowfall map. Actually, before I do that, let me show you the rainfall map. Gosh, this computer is about ready to kick the can, it seems like. Okay, there we go. So Saturday, so tonight and Saturday, rainfall totals generally around 1/4 of an inch. Nothing too impressive. I bring this up, well, I wanted to bring this up before the snow, because speaking of the snow, that snowpack, it's going to melt today with the sun and the temperatures above freezing and the rain tonight into Saturday. That snowpack and 1/4 of an inch of rain is not going to cause any issues with flooding. We've been looking at that data through and through. We've been looking at the Licking River, Brush Creek even, Ohio River, Little Miami River, Great Miami River. I'm trying to think of other rivers we've been looking at. We've looked at it a lot, and creeks. And I don't see any signs or indications of potential flooding. So no issues on flooding. Positive news. Again, only 1/4 inch of rain for tonight and Saturday. Now let's talk about the snow. Again, not a lot. I'm just showing you this only because I know it's going to be asked. So here we have it. This is looking ahead to Saturday Saturday midday and afternoon, going to Saturday evening. That's that rain change over to snow, and it's not very much, less than 1/2 an inch. And as I mentioned, anywhere that does see any of this stuff, it's going to be only stuck on grassy surfaces or elevated surfaces, not roadways. And the grassy surfaces, I say grassy, thinking that if that snowpack does melt completely. I don't think all places will have completely snow-free conditions in their yards. But anyway, let's play this out to show you Sunday. So Sunday, we will see some accumulations. Not a lot. In fact, you can see here, everybody, less than 1 inch. And mind you, you're seeing that, oh, hey, Ethan, there's 1 inch. No, that's including what happens on Saturday. So that includes what's happening on Sunday, or Saturday, I mean. So not a whole lot of snow with this system. We're not going to see that issue. But I do want to get our attention back to, gosh, this computer. Got to wait a little bit. It is Friday. It's probably ready for a reboot, as well as I am. All right, once this loads, here we go. So our forecast is cold and dry. I know last week there were some folks asking about snow this week. I know there were some Facebook posts from amateurs who were trying to signal, oh, we got a winter storm coming in the week of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Well, this is what happens. You got to wait these kind of things out a little bit before we get closer. You got to have that data. You got to do it the scientific way. You got to have data to back up your claims. And right now, we're looking at cold, dry air. Take a look at this. Look at the, I'm trying to move out of the way a little bit. Look what's happening down towards Memphis, down towards Alabama. This is just a model, and I should jump into it, but I don't have enough time. But this is bringing in winter storm conditions potentially for folks in the deep south. While we are inundated by this big area of Arctic air, dry, cold conditions. And that's going to continue through the bulk of the week. And folks have been asking about late week snow. The data continues to come in and reinforces mainly dry conditions. Now, that being said, there will be a chance of very light snow on Thursday and Friday, but it does not look to be that impressive of any kind of amounts, at least right now. So I'm not too concerned with late week measurable snow, but we do have snow in the forecast. Okay, we got to begin to wrap this up here soon because we're going to quickly miss our time slot for our 19 for Now the Natty. Telling you, Getting a little tired here. Okay, while that's loading, the 7-day loading, we'll take a last look at comments and questions before we go ahead and move on. All right, Maria says, any other future chance of accumulating snow? That was 10 minutes ago. Hopefully I answered your question there, Maria. Ronald, if we head south, what will you do? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ronald. Wayne says, what's the forecast for the 20th? Morning low of 1 below and a high of 12. Ronald says, spots of ice on the roadways with melting snow, then freezing temps. Yeah, that's going to be an issue for Saturday night and Sunday morning, particularly here in the tri-state. So again, not a lot of snow, but we are looking at that potential of icy road conditions come Saturday night and Sunday morning. Susan says, yuck. Also adds, I really appreciate how you explain things and teach everyone what's going on. Thank you. If I wasn't in this profession, I might be a teacher. Wayne jumped in on here too, asking for the 20th forecast. Hopefully got your answer there. Judy says, thank you, Ethan, for another sunny day. How does Monday look? It looks cold. Sunny, but cold. And Susan says, I don't mind this weather. I know it has to get super cold to kill certain bugs and certain wheat seeds. But yeah, it's definitely cold enough to do that. Certainly. So here's a 7-day forecast. I'll put this up full screen for you. We've got temperatures cooling down during the daytime hours of Saturday. So the morning temperature is 40, afternoon temperature 34. Sunday, temperatures don't change too much. 21 in the morning, 23 in the afternoon. Flurries, light snow showers. Monday morning, MLK Day, a low of 1 below, 12 in the afternoon. Feels like temperatures below 0. Tuesday, a morning low of 0, a high of 14. Again, wind chills at or below 0. Wednesday morning, 2 below, wind chills well below 0. Wednesday afternoon, 22, wind chills in the single digits and teens, an improvement. And then eventually we do see the slight chance of light snow showers on Thursday and Friday, morning lows in the teens and low 20s and highs in the low 30s. That's a 7-day forecast. Now let's go beyond the 7-day forecast. And we are looking at temperatures getting above freezing, staying above freezing, and we are looking at repeated rounds of rain-snow mix. Now, right now, it is way too far out to discuss anything about impacts or amounts because it's going to be really dependent on the track of any kind of these low-pressure systems that move through. But there are daily chances of maybe a rain-snow mix. A lot of this actually looks light right now, but of course, things are going to evolve and change. And when we know, you'll know here on Fox 19. But that's going to do it for us here on this 19 at Noon. Hopefully you enjoyed the 14-day forecast exclusively here on Fox 19 now. And again, get to that first alert for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with that bitterly cold air. For details, download that Fox 19 First Alert weather app. Have a wonderful, fantastic, feel-good Friday, and stay warm and have a good weekend.